All I talk is crack, I can get the Rick out. Yeah, it's crazy reminiscing every decision I made. Yeah, I was fucked up. I put in the work and never, no nigga can ever just say that I looked up. Yeah, I feel like the hottest nigga out the south. All these pussy niggas need to put on the block. Ain't shooting no one, boy, I'm snatching your life, but I'm putting some work, what a hell of a life. Don't fuck with a young nigga looking for skirts, not fuck with these niggas no more. Half of these niggas be bitch made, ain't no discussion, yeah, they know I'ma get paid. I was taught never before, never hate on nobody. Yeah, I got grenade. I was just up and found all the fuck niggas. Diamonds above the rim, he don't wanna be baller. Kick his ass up out the gym. Get to the bed, never start with your hustle. Slide out, never trust niggas. All I talk is crack, I can get the Rick out. I put in the work and never no nigga.
Thank God for crack. Cook up the crack, watch him eat it up. I got grenade.
You can never just say that I looked up.
Thank God for crack. Cook up the crack, watch him eat it up. I got grenade.
Can never, no nigga can never just say that I looked up.
For educational purposes only. Please respect the views and opinions of this channel. All accusations and or opinions are alleged on this channel. All names are alleged, obtained from public social media websites. Please respect the channel and its channel holders. And again, all names, accusations are alleged. Thank you.
Commit those things for your support.
All I talk is crack, I can get the Rick out. Just say that I looked up. I put in the work.
Hello world, Crack back with another pack. Today we're going to be talking about a bizarre situation that happened in Mobile, Alabama, with a set of twin girls that was involved in an unfortunate situation with the killing of their father. James Walters, 48 years old, was brutally murdered. We at this point in time aren't sure how this happened, but there was a lot of bizarre situations within this case that made us sit back and take a look at it. And it's a lot of things that's going on, and we're going to break the whole entire case down to you step by step. But before I begin, I want to say rest in peace to Mr. Walters and condolences to the Walters family. And I hope you guys get some justice soon. Now, this incident happened in Mobile, Alabama, but I believe that the twins are originally from Florida. I'm not exactly sure what part, but they moved to Mobile, Alabama. They have close ties with the rapper Honeycomb Brazy. That's where I first discovered him. I seen them with him in an interview, and he talked about him. I believe that they were close to signing, or they signed. That's something that we're going to have to go through and figure out, because it's got a lot to do with the case. There's money involved. There's multiple shootings. So that night, 2 people actually were murdered, and another young lady was shot. The young lady that was involved was at the house also and was friends with the twins. So she was basically shot in the house also. They're trying to say maybe accidentally, but this young lady is in critical condition. So we want to send our condolences to her and her family and hope she gets well. Now, there's another gentleman by the name of James Jones, 74 years old. They're saying he was an innocent bystander. They're saying that the boyfriend of the young lady that was shot at the home as well came to the scene, found out something happened, and went to the wrong door, the right apartments, but the wrong door, and just shot this 74-year-old man. And we want to say rest in peace to Mr. James Jones and condolences to his family also. Now, although they have ties with the rapper Honeycomb Brazy, the twins are most notable for their skits on TikTok and their 5 million views or followers on Instagram. So as we go along, we're going to introduce you to each individual within the case, their involvement, and what's going on with the case. So there were a lot of lives and different situations that were going on that same night. We're going to break all of those lives down. We're going to sift through all the information, all of the paperwork, and come up with a logical explanation of why and how come. Because we have two grown men that are dead, another young lady that is in critical condition in the hospital, and 4 to 5 other individuals involved. Also, the mother was there at the crime scene. We have video. We have people already speculating that this was a setup. We're going to go back to the old lives, and we're going to try to find out what was going on within these two young ladies' lives and see if we can find out why all roads led to this tragic night and this tragic incident. As I was gathering this information, I clearly can see that there is something going on within this family for these two young ladies to be so angry and seemingly unhappy. There's been a lot of different inconsistencies in the stories, people coming out from each side of the family speaking. We're going to cover that. Things aren't adding up. I believe these two young ladies are hiding something. If I could say that now, I'm going to go ahead and say that because I've been listening and going over some of this information, and there's no consistency within any of this information. So that's really what piqued my interest on wanting to see, like, what's going on here. Because if you have all of these followers and a rap career and your own home and everything like that, then what would lead you to this tragic night? That's my question. So what I'm going to do is try to find that out. And also, another thing that piqued my interest was that it was a lot of people on their lives. Well, actually, the two young ladies were both on their lives as the incident was going, before the police got there even. So that also was a red flag. So we're going to cover all of that. We're going to bring up the video. We're going to do the breakdowns. So just, this is the beginning of this famous twins case. I believe that this case is going to reveal some things that maybe the people in Mobile know, or maybe their family know, but not to the public. And we're going to try to figure that out by just listening to what they say, what their family says, what the police say, and what the papers say, and just using my brain and trying to figure out where did everything go wrong. But I can definitely tell you that there's a lot of inconsistency, and we're in for the long haul. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce you to the famous twins. I'm calling this Mystery in Mobile, Crack Reacts, first installment. All right, let's get cracking.
Daddy shot and ran. Henry Stevenson, he shot my daddy and ran that way, on feet. I don't know. They go that way. Yes. No, Daddy. Dad, you okay? Daddy, I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry, Daddy. I'm sorry. Daddy, where you shot? Dad, where you shot at? I'm sorry. Dad, I'm sorry. Dad, you hear me? Dad, I'm sorry. I don't know why. Bro, you green. On my life, you green as fuck, bro. On my life, you green. You can't say shit to me, bro. You Henry shot Daddy. What can you say, bro? You green. You green. Daddy, Dad. Hey, my daddy dying. My daddy dying. Where are the police? Look at daddy. Look at daddy. Look at daddy, bro. Bro, daddy, dad, please. My sister's so green. Oh, my life, dad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sway, how could you let him do this? How could you let him do this? Bro, look at daddy. Bro, look at him, mama. He need help. Dad, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Bro, look what you did. You going to jail. You and him going to jail, bro. Bro, yes, you is. Bro, you gave him the gun to shoot. You gave him the gun to shoot. Bro, daddy, where's the ambulance? Bro, they gotta come back. They gotta come back, daddy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh no.
Where he shot at?
Bro, we don't know.
He shot him about twice.
He gave him the gun on purpose. Bro, my mama, that shit lame.
Man, that shit lame. What y'all do, bro? That shit lame.
Hey, Junior, chill out, man. Come on, twin. Y'all with that bullshit.
No, that's way on my Man, you could have killed me. Man,
8. Engine 9. Gunshot at 506 Williams Street, between Ranger Street and Senator Street, map I-12. Rescue 8. Engine 9. Gunshot at 506 Williams Street, between Ranger Street and Senator Street, map I-12. Timeout 22:41 hours.
All Rescue 33's arrived in the Mallet Snap 149.4.
Rescue 3 arrived 22:42. 25.
Transport to Durham, Berlin, Sterling.
Last copy. Rescue 8 Maryland. Rescue responding 2243. Rescue 8 into 9. You're responding for a 47-year-old male. Multiple gunshot wounds to the abdomen. MPD's on scene. Safe picture.
Nah, okay. One was a Springfield, that is a Springfield.
Rescue 22 arrived 2243.
My Lord, when you command, send me a 7-8 LS. Come on.
Command copy. Rescue 24, gunshot at 506 Williams Street, between Ranger Street and Senator Street, map I-12. Rescue 24, gunshot at 506 Williams Street, between Ranger Street and Senator Street, map I-12. Timeout 22:51 hours.
Street, man, house, yes, sir.
It is 22, copy.
Well, I'm rescue one's at it. Women and children's 11.0.
Rescue on arrive 2253. Rescue 24, you're responding for Engine 9 and Rescue 8 on scene of shooting. Go direct for updated patient information. Respond code 3.
Okay, that was the official 911 from the Mobile, Alabama Police Department from that night. Now, the reason why I played that was because I'm trying to show you exactly what's going on and what was transpiring from the beginning. Now, we already can notice that there is a discrepancy in the time. As you heard, the first call was 22:41. So once the first call came in, they should have been there within maybe 3 to 5 minutes, I presume. Now, there was an officer, I believe, that radioed back in and said something, I couldn't make it out. And then the dispatch displayed 22:43 as the time going out. Why she did that, I'm not sure. It could be a policy, or it could be maybe when she was, the time that she answered the officer or whatever. I'm not really sure. That's neither here nor there. And then you hear another call go out. Actually, another call come in, and that was at 22:51. Now, that is a whole entire 10 minutes, which takes me back to the original scene when one of the twins was out there and the father was, you guys seen the video. I don't want to really, when he was outside. Now, think about this. It took 10 minutes for any officer to even arrive at the scene. Mind you, it's all kind of chaos out there. You guys seen the video. The little girl is out there. Now, my question to them, and I'm not trying to beat down on them or anything, because I know they're going through a situation, but you have to ask yourself this. Why, if it took so long, how come these girls didn't get in the car and take their father to the hospital? Mind you, remember, everyone, that the mother, the woman that is with the gentleman that is deceased now, is also at the scene. And I believe that is her that is on the ground when he was on the ground, if you guys seen the video. Now, that bothers me, because if you're going to be out there and you know that your father is on the ground, instead of pulling your phone out, instead of going live, and your excuse for going live is that you wanted to show the gentleman that shot your father running, but we have yet to see any man on the video. So I have to take that out of the equation, because that doesn't make sense. Because if you were trying to film the gentleman that shot your father, where's that at? How come you weren't live showing that? But you're showing your father on the ground. That bothers me. Makes me feel some kind of way, because I understand and I know the younger generation, and you guys are quick with your phones. Pick it up, have it in your hand. You're naked without your phone. And then these two young ladies come from, their success is TikTok, which is, I mean, you have to stay on your phone. You have to make videos all the time. So that's where their success came from, or is coming from. And for her to pick up the phone, I have to call that out. I have to say that, and this is my opinion, because I wasn't there, and I'm going off of instinct and just thinking. And if that was me in that situation, whether I was young or not, I'm going to think faster. I'm not pulling my phone out in order to record my father. I'm trying to help him. I'm trying to get him in the car. We all know that there was a vehicle out there, because the young lady stated that one of the other twin went out and sat in the car, and she didn't want to ask the twin to take Henry home in her car. So there is a working car there. So for no one to try to help him and to get him in the car, that's red flags. So that's our first discrepancy within this case. It's coming from the dispatch. I mean, 10 minutes is a long time. But within that 10 minutes, he could have been possibly saved. Because if this situation happened within the home, that means he crawled all the way out to the street, and he was still moving as she's filming him. So I believe all of that time they took to film him, they could have probably got him to the hospital, my opinion. So that's the reason why I played that 911. I wanted you guys to understand that there's discrepancies all through this situation. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to play 2 clips from the news, and then we're going to go over it and move on. All right, let's get to it.
Thank God for crack. Cook up the crack, watch him eat it up. I got grenade.
What's up, guys? Right now, we're going to take a brief intermission. Tell you to subscribe. We're trying to get our subscribers up. We're getting a lot of watch time. People aren't subscribing, so we want to try to get our subscribers up. And follow us at AudioCrack22 on all platforms. Thank you.
A crime alert tonight. Mobile police investigating 2 murders they say are connected. The first happened around 11 last night near Government and DIP. A father shot and killed over a domestic dispute. Less than an hour later, Mobile police called to Florida Street for what they are calling a retaliatory shooting. NBC 15's Rachel Wilkerson has been investigating these cases. She joins us now with the very latest. Rachel?
Greg, MPD says this was a huge domestic dispute between twin sisters. Police say the twins called their mom and dad, who is James Walters, to assist. It ended up resulting in his death. 28-year-old James Walters twins go by the name Famous Twins on social media. They allegedly signed a deal with a local rapper and money was deposited into their account. Money that allegedly fueled this domestic dispute.
They was just mad. And they were just going back and forth, back and forth.
Police say one of the twins' boyfriend and Walters got into an argument. Police say both men were armed.
When they was all in the house, the next thing I knew, commotion started. And then it stopped. This commotion started real bad, and then gunshots was fired.
MPD says at some point, one of the twins' boyfriends shot Walters. The bullet, police say, also struck a 23-year-old female who was in critical condition. Walters ran out of the house and collapsed in the street. He fought for his life, but died upon receiving medical attention.
As a result of that particular incident, one of the girls' boyfriend decided that he would retaliate against the individual that he thought was responsible for causing the death.
Public Safety Director Lawrence Batiste says 28-year-old Deangelo Merrill went to the Pathway Apartments on Florida Street looking for revenge against the alleged gunman. Police say Merrill was in the right complex but kicked in the wrong door and shot and killed innocent 74-year-old James Jones.
His actions were cowardice. There was no reason for him to take that type of action, to kick someone's door in and to randomly begin shooting at someone because of a domestic dispute that occurred at a different location that maybe he didn't even have all the facts about.
Police are actively looking for Merrill. On social media, one sister claims the other gave the boyfriend a gun. MPD cannot comment on specific details at this time and says the twins are not facing charges at this time.
But I can only imagine that if my father was killed because of my actions, I don't think there's no court can place more pressure or more burden on them or sentence them to any higher of a sentence than what they're going to have to carry in their hearts for the rest of their lives.
MPD is asking if you know where Deangelo Merrill is to call MPD so they can take him into custody for the death of the 74-year-old man. The William Street case has been bound over to a grand jury. Greg.
Well, investigators say a man looking for revenge for that shooting on William Street kicked in the door of an apartment on Florida Street, shooting and killing the man inside.
But police say it was the wrong guy. Our investigative reporter Brendan Kirby has been piecing these events together. Joining us now live in the studio. Brendan, it was a wild night.
Yeah, that's right, Lenise and Byron. Today, 2 men are dead and a woman is in critical condition, and police are searching for answers. Mobile police say they're searching for 29-year-old Deangelo Merrill. They say they want to question him about a chain of events that began in the 500 block of William Street with 2 people shot and ended at Pathways Apartments with another fatal shooting. Between 10 and 11 p.m., police say a man named James Walters got into an argument with 2 of the residents, his daughters. As the shouting escalated, another man they won't identify tried to intervene. That's when the scene turned deadly. Police say Walters ran toward the other man.
The preliminary investigation indicates Mr. Walters produced a firearm. The other individual produced his firearm and shot Mr. Walters in what appears to be self-defense based on the information we have so far.
Police say the man fired 3 times. In addition to hitting Walters and causing him to stagger down the street until he fell to the ground, investigators say a 23-year-old woman at the house suffered an accidental gunshot. She's in critical condition. Interim Police Chief Roy Hodge says her boyfriend is Merrill. He wasn't at the house, but the chief says when he found out what happened, Merrill took off for Pathway Apartments on Florida Street for revenge. He kicked in a door and fired multiple shots. Only Hodge says Merrill had the wrong apartment. A 73-year-old man on kidney dialysis named James Jones died during the gunfire.
Another unintended consequence, was the death of Mr. Jones, and who, by all rights, was doing what most everyone does at, at that time of night. He's in his home, minding his own business, and he, becomes a victim, of an incident that happened in another part of town.
Back on William Street, Cameron Robinson says he was on his porch across the street when he saw the argument escalate out of control.
The dude shot the daddy probably two or three times. The daddy ran out the porch, down the street, laying down, blood on his face and arm and stuff. And the other dude ran down the street.
Another neighbor who didn't want to appear on camera says she fears for the neighborhood.
It's a quiet neighborhood. Most people on this street don't be out and about, whatever. We be mostly in the house at night. It's pretty quiet.
Okay, now those were the two earliest clips from the local news that I found. And the reason why I wanted to play the early clips is because I wanted to hear what stories came out from the beginning. And then as time goes by, if those stories change within the media or not. So let's go over what happened and what they said. So right off the top, we see that the first news initially is saying that it was over a domestic dispute, right? Now, we all understand and heard that this $500,000 was what the situation was or whatever. We're going to get to that point. I'm just trying to explain to you all these discrepancies before we get started or before we dive in. Now, if you haven't heard the two girls on live, as the scene is going on, they're in the back of the police cars on live. Now, Allie is the twin that was in the back. She really didn't say too much. She was basically just screaming about her father. I'm going to play a little bit of that clip right now so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's get to that now. There's in the back of the car, and she's stating that...
Damn, bro. Bro, I'm stuck in the police car, literally, bro. I'm stuck in the police car, bro. My daddy died, bro. They crazy, bro. They crazy, bro. Oh my life, bro. I'm still stuck in the police car in 6 hours. My daddy died, bro. You gotta be kidding me, bro. Bro, give me straight, bro. I'm beating up, but they literally won't let me out this. Bro, I'm literally beating up, bro. I'm beating up, but they won't let me out. My daddy dying, bro. My daddy dying. I literally been waiting on the detective for 2 hours. I'm still in the police car, bro. I'm still in the police car, bro. Bro, they so crazy, bro. It gotta be a crime, bro. Bro, they gotta be a crime, bro. Bro, look, y'all. Oh my God, give me ankle, bro. Like, bro, I'm literally in the police car. My daddy died, bro. Like, bro, my dad died, bro. This can't be right, bro. This can't be right, bro. This can't be right, bro. I'm in the police car, like, literally, bro. I literally said I had to pee and everything, bro. I literally been in it, bro. I literally been in it, bro. Like, my daddy died, bro. Like, bro. My dad already in the hospital. I've been in the car for 2 hours. I literally said I had to pee and everything, bro. I still ain't got up out the bro. I swear to God, bro. They so crazy, bro. They gonna eat me up for the rest of my life, bro. They gonna eat me up, bro. No, bro, I didn't get my daddy to get, no, bro, that's not what happened, bro. That's not what happened, bro. My daddy, the only thing matter, bro. My phone literally died, bro. I've been in for 2 hours. 2 hours, bro. My daddy died, bro. It's over, bro. I might as well just kill myself, bro. I gotta kill myself, cause, bro, like, what the man, bro? Bro.
Now, as you've seen and heard, Allie is in the back of the police car on live. Now, as we heard on the news clip, they stated it was a domestic violence, correct? Now, the young lady in the back, she was screaming, so we really didn't get anything out of her. I think she was really more in shock. Now, what y'all have to understand is my views and my opinions about this situation are my views and my opinions. So I understand that these two young ladies are going through something at this time, but for them to state the statements that they made and their actions raise an eyebrow. So as she's in the back of the car and she's screaming, prior to that, she was outside filming her father live, basically passing away. Instead of putting that phone down and trying to help with the other people that was out there get her father in the car, since there was a 10-minute gap before EMS arrived and get him to the hospital. So there lies a problem. So she's not saying much in the back of the police car. Now, how they have their phones and they're live in the back of the police car, I can't answer that. That's something new to me. Throughout all my years, I've never seen, regardless if you were a victim or the accused, once you get put in the back of a police car, you get handcuffed and you get searched. That's just my assessment of that, but it's neither here nor there. Now, on the other hand, you have the sister Sway. Now she's in the back seat. Now she's talking. They both are separate cars. I guess the police are outside at this point in time, basically trying to get some information about what was going on, or who heard what, or whatnot. So I'm going to play a little clip of what Sway was saying in the back of the police car. Mind you, neither one of these girls have said anything about domestic violence or anything like that. Now, let's get to that clip now.
Thank God for crack. Cook up the crack, watch them eat it up. I got grenade.
What's up, guys? Right now, we're going to take a brief intermission. Tell you to subscribe. We're trying to get our subscribers up. We're getting a lot of watch time. People aren't subscribing, so we want to try to get our subscribers up. And follow us at AudioCrack22 on all platforms. Thank you.
My mama, y'all tripping on my soul. On my mama, don't be coming on whipping at me, because ain't anybody got to see about me. Y'all tripping on my mama. Y'all tell my son, y'all don't even know what's going on. Y'all listening to what other people saying. Y'all don't get on somewhere. Y'all tripping. Got a lot for y'all tripping on my mama. No, I ain't even going. I know I'm going to the metro. You trying to be on to be fun. But y'all tripping. Somebody, y'all need to delete y'all Facebook. I don't need to delete, period. Y'all tripping on. But like I said, be whipping at me because y'all don't even know what's going on. Period. Man, no, these folks got me. People trying to make no post about me, because anybody ain't worrying about nobody to do me. Cause my mama, I'm finna get out. My mama, y'all just talking. Cause y'all don't even know what's going on, period. Period. It ain't about no money. It ain't about no money, period. On my mama. It ain't about no half a million. It ain't nothing about none of that. On my mama, y'all in the tripping bad. Y'all shut up. Let it shut up then. Y'all tripping on it. The man ain't even got my name yet. But I know I'm finna go to jail because I had warrants. But I at least tell my son, told me that they, yeah, he ain't moving. But I don't know their Facebook name, and then I just know they the little famous twins. My children told me that they stayed down here. That's the only reason I knew they stayed down here. But I know ever since they been staying down here, they be fighting every day, every night. They always out this whole fight. They said they were signing a petition or something to get them out the neighborhood, because ever since they moved over here, it be like every day. Police be over here every day. She said her sister gave somebody the gun. I don't know. See, one of my neighbors that stay down the street, she called me. She was like, "You heard them gunshots?" I was like, "No," because I was in the kitchen cooking. And I walked outside and walked down here. When I walked down here, he was already laid out on the ground, like full of blood, not moving here. And they was just out here screaming like, "Daddy, I'm sorry. Daddy, I'm sorry," like screaming, saying, "Dad, I'm sorry." So I don't know what happened. I just know right before he got shot, they was out here fighting. My friend said they was down here just fighting for like 30, 45 minutes, like for a long time. And then they was fighting, and then they started shooting. But it's even a gunshot
gunshot all over here in these folks' yard. Gunshot all. Look at it. But yeah, when I walked out here, they was just saying, Daddy, I'm sorry. And he was laid in a puddle of blood and wasn't moving. They was out here fighting. They said they were fighting because the sister got $500,000 and they want to get nobody no money. That's where the shit started. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know their Facebook name. I just know their name.
Y'all gonna see me and Allie. I don't care no more. $500,000, $500,000, and then ain't shut me dog. And when it comes to money on my mom, can't say to me.
When your dad was shot, where was he standing?
I don't know. They both had a gun.
No, I mean, was he in the street?
No, we was in the house.
He was inside a house
Yeah,
when he was shot?
we was in the house.
What house?
We by the house. I can't even. It's man. My sister ain't got nothing to say to me, dog. He can't say nothing to me. Didn't know it free me, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. Just know my sister got $500,000, dog. $500,000, and I split it with her own sister, dog. Man, I don't give a ain't no lawyer. Just know we going to jail. Just know we going to jail, that's all. Yeah, well, I ain't even said no, I ain't tripping. I know I'm finna sit down. Just know I'm finna sit down. Ellie finna sit down. We all finna sit down. We all finna sit down. I don't give a fuck. It free me, free Ellie, all this. He said about your dad. Man, just know, man, I don't know. They got the shooting. They got the shooting.
Now, as you can see, she's in the back of the car speaking of the $500,000 that everyone is talking about. Now, why she's speaking of that, I'm not sure, because as you'll see later on, she starts to change her story and say it has nothing to do with that, about the money. So there's another discrepancy. Also, again, the news is stating that it was a domestic violence situation and the father was called over there. Now, if that was the case, I'm pretty sure that the young lady in the back seat would have been saying something to the sorts of like, when I arrived at the house, they got into it, and you know, Henry started hitting my sister, and I called my father over there, or something like that. But that's not the case. She's speaking of money. She's saying that someone, I will assume it's going to be her sister, and another individual got paid $500,000 and didn't cut her in. So she came over there to see about that. Now, what's strange to me is in the news clip, in the beginning of the news clip, the lady explains that they were signed to a local rapper and some money was deposited into an account. But as we got a little further into the news clip, you'll see the public safety director, Lawrence Baptiste, basically stating that because of what occurred at the original address with the father, that the second incident occurred in result of that. And I'm assuming that he's speaking of the domestic violence. He's thinking that it was a domestic violence incident there at the time. So there's nothing coming out right at this point in time. And remember, this is the news reports on what happened within this incident. So now we're in another discrepancy, and we have no definitive report of them signing with anyone, no record label, or them receiving any monies. So there's where we have a problem. If you think about it, it's just been lies from the beginning. Now let's go back to the news statement when they said that they signed with the local rapper and money was deposited into their account. Now I can attest that I didn't know much about these two young ladies, but I did know about Honeycomb Brazy. He's a rapper from Alabama, and he's affiliated with Jay Prince and Rap-A-Lot Records. Now, Honeycomb Brazy has just lost his grandparents not too long ago. I know everyone probably seen what happened when his grandparents' house was burned down. If you haven't seen that, I'm going to play a little clip of that, and then we're going to move on. All right, let's get to that.
Thank God for crack. Cook up the crack, watch him eat it up. I got grenade.
What's up, guys? Right now, we're going to take a brief intermission to tell you to subscribe. We're trying to get our subscribers up. We're getting a lot of watch time. People are subscribing, so we want to try to get our subscribers up. And follow us at AudioCrack22 on all platforms. Thank you.
And we're staying on top of breaking news right now. The rapper Honeycomb Brazy pleading not guilty to gun and drug charges, and a judge hearing evidence that prosecutors say shows why his probation should be revoked.
I want to go to our investigative reporter, Brendan Kirby, at Government Plaza. And Brendan, that hearing just wrapping up.
Yeah, that's right, Lanice and Byron. Judge Wesley Pipes didn't immediately rule on the revocation, but said that he is concerned about some of the allegations he heard. Honeycomb Brazy, whose real name is Nashawn Jones, is on probation for a 2016 conviction on charges of being a convicted felon in possession of a firearm. A probation officer testified this afternoon that Jones got out of prison in November of last year, but didn't report for probation until February of this year. And the officer says that that was the last time he had any contact with Jones. Prosecutors also tried to make the case that Jones violated the rules of probation by having guns. They played numerous music videos showing him with various guns. The defense argues there's no proof any of those guns were real, and point out that some of the videos have disclaimers indicating that the guns are merely props. Jones's stepmother, who handles his business matters, testified that she was present for some of the music videos. She says that the weapons were absolutely props, and a man whose company shot most of the music videos also testified they were props. The probation officer testified about a shooting that occurred in Montgomery in November of last year. A video played in court shows Jones with 3 people armed with semi-automatic handguns with extended magazines. But Jones himself was not armed in the video. Mobile police have said that an ongoing dispute Jones had with a rival may have led to the February killing of his grandparents. Tony and Leila Lewis died when someone fired into their Happy Hill home, which also caught fire. Defense lawyer Jeff Dean and Chief Assistant District Attorney Keith Blackwood reacting after the hearing.
Comes with the industry. It's shocking to some of us, but that's how they make their money, and it's a very lucrative market. And this young man has a lot of talent, and he go-getter.
The state presented some compelling evidence that we think the judge can revoke his probation on.
Hey, well, thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now, Judge Pipes previously revoked Jones's probation after a different set of allegations, but an appeals court overturned that decision. Reporting live from Government Plaza, Brendan Kirby, Fox 10 News.
I did too. So I told my son, I'm like, bro.
I'm like, sound like they shoot. But I heard it again.
Man.
Ooh, that shit. And I was asleep. Ooh.
Lord, I hope ain't nobody up in that house.
Me too, cause that was, cause how that even happened?
Man, I have no idea. All I heard was boom. So I'm like, damn, is it raining that way? Then
she started blowing the horn. I'm like,
man, I seen cars.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Man, that big boom is still booming. But they need to come on with it. The fire truck, man, the damn fire station right down the street.
Come to my boy. Come to my boy. Down your knees.
What happened? What happened?
Okay, before I continue, I'd like to say rest in peace to Tony and Leila Lewis, Honeycomb Brazy's grandparents. Rest in peace. I hope his family gets justice for that soon. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now that you're familiar with Honeycomb Brazy, which remember, the reason why I played them clips, because I know people probably like, why are you playing that or whatever, but there's a reason. Now, remember in the news clip, they stated that the 2 young ladies were tied to a local rapper. Now, that was the local rapper. Now, let's get back to the news. Now, the news also stated that a 23-year-old woman was shot in the house also, and she's in critical condition. They haven't been speaking much of her, and that's another red flag for me, because they don't want to release her name or her information or anything of the sort. And also, if you've been following this case or you've been looking online and you've listened to anything that the two young ladies have spoke on live or on a video after the fact, they really don't speak too much of the young lady named Bree. Now, we think we found who Bree is, and we think it's her sister.
How many siblings y'all got?
Like sisters. Sister-wise, one.
That's it?
Yeah, just one.
All right, so our girl. All right.
Now, the gentleman that they're saying is responsible for the 74-year-old man, Mr. James Jones' murder, Mr. Deangelo Merrill, is allegedly the boyfriend of Bree, the other young lady that was shot in the home, who is allegedly the sister of the twins. Now, he is now on the run for murder of Mr. James Jones. There's a bunch of different reports on if he actually showed up to the home and then went around the corner, or if he got a phone call and then went. And what they're saying is he basically kicked in the door thinking that it was, I believe, I would assume it would be the home of Allie's boyfriend, Henry Stevenson, who is being accused of killing their father in retaliation for Mr. Stevenson shooting the 23-year-old young lady named Bree, who we now believe to be allegedly the older sister of the twins. Now, the father that was murdered, he was not biologically their father. So this could be his daughter from a previous relationship before he got with the twins' mother. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, that could be a reason why the twins are not really speaking on her or saying that. You know how that is with the sisters. You know how that goes. So that's a alleged speculation. I'm just trying to figure out how come, if there was another victim, no one is speaking on her, or none of her family has came out and said a word. Even the police are keeping her name under the wraps. So since they did that, what we did was we did a little digging, and we think we found who she is. So I'm going to show you a couple pictures you'll see up on the screen right now. This is who we believe is the other young lady that was shot. Now, she's the girlfriend of Mr. Merrill. Mr. Merrill is on the run, like I said before. But the reason why I brought Honeycomb Brazy up, and now it's going to come full circle, and you'll understand why. I'm going to play a couple clips, and I'm going to show you why I brought up Honeycomb Brazy and why I said that he was not responsible, but he has close ties. Okay, let's get to that now.
Thank God for crack. Cook up the crack, watch him eat it up. I got grenade.
Is it making sense now? Now do you understand why I had to set it up the way I had to set it up? I had to show you that there's close ties. And remember, Alabama is kind of small, so everyone is going to know everyone, or a lot of the people in Alabama are family. Now, they're from a place called Happy Hills. In Happy Hills, Alabama, there was a project there. It's torn down now, but that is basically where all of them are from. And if you remember when I played you the clip of Honeycomb Brazy's grandparents' house burning across the street, if you was go back, you could look across the street and see that big field. That's where the projects was torn down at. And the reason why I bring that up is because if you look at the last name I want you to pay attention to something. James Jones, he was 74 years old. The news is claiming that his house got kicked in and he was shot and killed by Mr. Merrill as he sat in his house on his dialysis machine. Mistaken identity. Now you ask yourself, does that make sense? It just doesn't make sense to me. But now think about this. I'm looking at the name James Jones, because I'm just not understanding Mr. Merrill just kicking in the door and then seeing a gentleman on a dialysis machine, him knowing that he had nothing to do with the situation, but shooting him. So it kind of made me feel like something's not right. So I go look up Mr. Honeycomb Brazy's real name, and his real name is Nashawn Jones. It's another Jones, right? But I mean, that doesn't really mean anything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of Joneses in the world. So I'm looking to see if I could find the twins' real name. Couldn't really find it, but then I ended up running into this clip. And I'm going to play this clip for you. And then we'll get back and talk about it. All right, let's get to that now.
Thank God for crack. Cook up the crack, watch him eat it. I got grenade.
My sister named Consuela. Consuela.
Now, after I seen that, I got a name, so I'm saying Consuela. I'm thinking in my mind, maybe this is just some, whatever. So I get to digging and end up running into this. As you can see, it's Allie Jones, which is one of the sisters. Now, if you look to the right, you see under relatives, Consuela Jones. Now you can see I'm kind of like, now I'm really tripping, because it's like, damn, all these Joneses. Why would a man go around the corner allegedly and shoot a gentleman for no reason? You know who you're looking for. If you either were there, you definitely know who you were looking for. But if you got a phone call, you also know who you were looking for. You weren't looking for a 74-year-old man. So for you to go ahead and carry that mission out lets me know that there's something else going on, because normally, if you want somebody, you're gonna get that person. So if you're gonna kick the door in and you see a man in his living room on his dialysis machine, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna shoot him. Why would you? And that's what made me think, like, maybe it's something else. And sometimes that's just how my brain works. So I just got to digging, and lo and behold, we have a lot of Joneses that are connected. Now, I'm not sure what it is to get out of that, but I'm just putting it in the atmosphere. Maybe something later will come from that. But it's just very ironic that there are all these Joneses. And it's very ironic that no one wants to speak on this Bree young lady, which is allegedly a sister of the twins. This is not adding up. Now, when I was looking up Mr. Merrill, and I seen he was with Honeycomb Brazy a lot, through his videos. I had remembered him. I noticed him. Then I ran into this little conversation on Twitter where people were asking, is that No Shirt? And everybody kind of knows him as No Shirt. And people were saying, yeah. And as you can see on the screen, you can see the conversation. So it's like, he's very close to Honeycomb. But Honeycomb is in jail right now, so he has nothing to do with this situation. It's just something's going on, y'all. Like, think about it. You got all these Jones. You got a man that ran off named Henry. The young lady's outside in the street on live, and her answer to being on live is because she wanted to make sure that she showed where Henry ran after he did what he did, right? But we don't see any Henry. But you staying on the phones, you guys are staying on live in the cars, and then another incident an hour later. They stated it was an hour later on the news. Around the corner, just mistaken identity. But this is my question. Have you ever heard a news say right apartment, wrong house? Now, mind you, if he's going to look for the gentleman Henry Stevenson, I assume, because that's what everyone is saying is the shooter in self-defense, then why would the police say, yes, it's the right apartments, the Pathway Apartments, but it was the wrong house? Now everyone knows where he's at. It's just little stuff like that that made me feel uncomfortable about this situation. And plus all of the lies and inconsistent stories, it just doesn't add up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and end it here. But I'm going to explain why we're ending it here. We're ending it here because this is just a rough draft of the situation at hand, because I know that everyone has already seen all of the videos, and I'm never going to show the video of the father out there on the ground. I know you guys all seen all that. But like I said, we're trying to figure out why it got to this point. So after this, what we're going to come with next is we're going to start breaking down some of these lives from the twins, and also some videos from the twins prior to the incident, to try and see if we can figure out what led up to this night, because that's the goal. Because we already know what happened, obviously, well, what the police said happened and who did what. So that's neither here nor there. We're trying to figure out how it got to this point, and why is it that there's so many different stories, so many inconsistencies with money allegedly being deposited, industry rumors, labels, and things of that nature. But before we go, I'm going to play another clip. This is just so ironic. You're not going to believe what I came across. I mean, I'm going to play a clip of, rest in peace, Mr. James Walters. And where he is not shocking to me, because if you haven't known, he was the manager of the twins, allegedly. I've only heard that a couple times, but word around is he was their manager. So where he is not ironic, but because of the situation, it's going to be ironic to you all. So I'm going to play the clip. We're going to come back, talk about that. Okay, if you did not notice, that is the father, Mr. James Walters. That was a clip of him at Mo 3's birthday bash on the yacht. And then the only thing that I could come up with is that he's tied to Honeycomb Brazy through his daughters. And Honeycomb Brazy is tied to the Prince, J Prince, and Rap-A-Lot Records, who Mo 3 was also affiliated with. So I say that to say this. I don't know why I played that. I just found it. It wasn't even like I was looking for it. It just happened to be, I'm looking at the birthday bash and happened to see Mr. Walters, rest in peace. And then it got me thinking, and I started to remember the connections of Honeycomb, Rap-A-Lot, the Princes, etc., etc. Now, how you want to take that is how you want to take that. How I'm taking it is how I'm taking it. But I'm just putting it in the atmosphere for whatever reason. You do with it what you feel is suffice. But I don't know. It's weird. But rest in peace, Mr. James Walters. And we're gonna end it here. But be looking forward to the breakdowns of the twins and their lives, because I found something else, y'all. I mean, when I got to breaking this video down, it was amazing, and then it all hit me. It just hit me. Something wasn't right. I knew something wasn't right from the beginning, but then when I broke this live down, I understood it fully. So be looking forward to that. It's coming as soon as possible. Until next time.
All I talk is crack, I can get the brick out. Yeah, it's crazy reminiscing every decision I made. Yeah, I was fucked up. I put in the work and never, no nigga can never just say that I looked up. Yeah, I feel like the hottest nigga out the south. All these pussy niggas need to put on the block. Ain't shooting no one, boy, I'm snatching your life, but I'm putting some work. What a hell of a life. Don't fuck with a young nigga looking for skirts. Not fuck with these niggas no more. Half of these niggas be bitch made. Ain't no discussion, yeah, they know I'ma get paid. I was taught never before, never hate on nobody. I got grenade. I was just up and found all the fuck niggas. Diamonds above the rim. He don't wanna be baller. Kick his ass up out the gym. Get to the bed, never start with your hustle. Slide out, never trust niggas.